This week is a dish that's extremely deep as we start the big move, which is really only about 500 feet. It's an uphill battle, which is extremely steep, but we continue to push forward and will not accept defeat. And financial strain means I need to sell one of my Jeeps, but get a temporary job delivering for Uber Eats. I'm Daniel Ashville Wheatley, episode 196. It's Monday morning, I'm not in the yard, and the project manager that no one asked for has tried to return repeatedly over the weekend, but it turns out in Marbella, they are not extending their arms open and wide to welcome me onto any sites. It is going to be a big week. On Thursday and Friday, it's just been confirmed that we are going to make the big move. The quote has come through from the cranes. The truck hire has also been confirmed. So we have to go hell to leather in the yard to ensure we're ready. Let's go down to the bottom of the yard where Dudek and the team are getting ready for the move. This is the work for the temporary area where the silo, bagging plant generator and water tower will sit. Last week you saw us pour sections which have now dried, and these are the sections in between to complete the base in this area. We're pouring a C40, which is generally used in the construction of structural and support beams, footings and foundations, roadworks, and in agricultural use such as bases for livestock areas. Multiple sections are prepared, so when one lorry finishes and washes out, another one can start immediately. This morning, a load of tippers headed up to the north of the country to my friend Cash at Crown Aggregates. We have a job which is stepping up this week. They're going to need 300 or 400 tons a day. Now, we've asked Cash to jump on the work with us, but he's also extremely busy, and we don't want to let this important client down. So we're going to have to find a way to make it work. Terry and Tony are doing as best they can with the limited lorries we have, because we have a number of breakdowns at the moment. Back again in the new yard where we are still I know we've been pouring a lot of concrete. We have even more concrete to pour on the tracks. This is a C50, which is even stronger than the concrete you saw us pouring earlier for our slabs. C50 is generally used when a high-performance concrete is needed that can provide durability and technical performance. For instance, in bridges and support columns. It's poured on the 2 layers of tied together reinforced mesh, and a concrete poker is used to remove all of the air pockets and ensure consistency in the mix. Now over to the tyre technician, Michael.
I'm heading off to Volvo's because we've got a volumetric truck over there that is in need of tyres. So I've been over there to change the front 3 and now I've just come to collect the rear tyres. I'm heading back over there to go and change all the rear tyres.
The tyres on all the lorries are checked multiple times throughout the day. This lorry has gone for MOT and we checked it before it left the yard. We don't feel new tyres are needed, but Volvo have insisted they want new tyres as part of their MOT prep. We have a fantastic pass rate with MOTs and we want to continue the good form, so we'll do as instructed and get the new tyres fitted. Tomorrow morning, bright and early, the Love Island contestant, Matt, is going to begin to dismantle the scaffold. When we need our concrete lorries the most, we have an issue with one. At the back of the cab, there is a small prop which powers the Reimer Commander units. That prop is damaged. However, a couple of weeks back, when we went to prop shaft services and we got a prop which goes from the 3rd to the 4th diff, we actually realized that one of the diffs that go on the volumetric and power the body, we had left it there about 2 years ago to get repaired. So the tyre fitter brought it back. Thankfully, that one's gone and we had one waiting and ready. So we're gonna get that one on, and then we're gonna take the old one back to prop shaft services so they can repair it, so we can always keep one spare. I'm back in full effect. The project manager no one asked for. It's Tuesday and I'm not in the yard. I'm on a build site in Marbella that looks like luxury apartments. They got these fantastic curved walls, and from where I'm standing, it looks like they've got plenty of open plan living areas. Now you may ask why the project manager no one asked for is not on site. And I did have my hard hat and high vis. However, I put them in the back of the car and the car has been shipped back to the UK. So I'm gonna keep my distance, but only on this occasion because there are some deep excavations down there. Back in the yard today, we're starting to dismantle the scaffold. This scaffold has been in place for around 5 years. This used to be the area where we store tires. As the years moved on, we used it to store pallets of empty bulb bags when our supplier delivered them to us. We try to utilize every inch of space in the yard, so elevated storage is always a great option. We're dismantling now to prepare the 20-foot containers for lift and transportation. Next is the tire area, which has not been up for that long, but served its purpose through the wet winter months. Everything we have is modular and mobile, so we can dismantle and shift when need be. In the new yard, there'll be another temporary setup to start with, and the long-term plan is a dedicated 5-bay workshop with a designated tyre repair area. Aha, a skip. Suspectless people have put this out as a 6-yard skip. Does not look like this came from Ashville. I've seen that the majority of the base in this particular part of Spain is rock. I think this pile has been created so it can be crushed and screened, and then it's going to be reused to backfill. Here's another pile. It's a bit messy, it's got some rubbish in it, but you'd have to hand pick it and then put it through a screener, and this metal and rebar would get taken out once it went through the magnet on the crusher. Plenty of utility work going on as well. I saw a couple of trenches dug out, probably an upgrade of services with possibly internet or water. Generally, it looks extremely busy in Marbella. Everywhere I look, there's a crane in the sky and somebody seems to be building something. Loving it. Unfortunately, while out on hire, the glass in the door on the excavator was damaged. We want to keep on top of the maintenance on all the machines and keep them in good looking and working order. So we've brought in MJB to fit a new sheet of glass on the door. You've seen these guys in the past fitting windscreens on our lorries. Now over to Michael O'Donovan, who once again is at it trying to mug me off.
Just had to pick the boss up from the station in Blackpool, but we're going to drive back to the yard now. He's going to give me a new job to do. I think I'm going to be working in the office next week, looking after all the tippers.
Now what Michael's trying to do here is wind me up. You see, me and Foxy were pals. I introduced Michael to Foxy, and now they've left me out and they're doing their own thing. This is like being young again, and you see everybody coming back from the park after a game of football, but no one knocked for you to let you know there was a game of football even happening. It's Wednesday morning, not in the yard. I'm on the back of a taxi on the way to the airport with the Sticker Man and Bav from Yanni Mais. I'm going to be back in London around lunchtime, but I have a video which I'm watching and I'm trying to do time codes and edits while I sit here. I just spoke to Teza and he's told me that coils have pulled up in the yard, and once again 3 lorries are going to do a day of lifting kit and taking it to our storage yard, which is not going to be in the new yard for the time being. This is double handling at its finest. Yes, get everything needed into the new yard, get it in there as soon as possible. Now let's lift it all out and transport it into storage. Very good use of time and resource, Daniel. The Olympic containers, when complete, are going to be the focal point of the new office area, but for now, we have no space and other priorities. The lads from Coils are using a tape measure to continually check the overhang of the units to ensure an even distance on each side and that all is legal. FYI, all our gym equipment from the Ashville gym is stored in this white 20-foot container. Watch this space. I am desperate to make use of this electrical substation, but we will see what happens as the electrical upgrade and infrastructure saga continues to unfold. This unit weighs around 8 tons and eventually will be our concrete cube testing and batching office. Landed back in the UK. When I open my emails, the first thing I see is that somebody has tried to run another scam in my absence, and it really feels like an inside job because as soon as I jumped on the plane, they started to email my team saying that I had asked them multiple times to make a payment and why haven't they made it. But they did it at a time when I would be on the plane and I wouldn't be able to communicate. Luckily, the team have had cyber training and they know every type of scam that's running, so they spotted it immediately and sent it to me with a couple of LOLs. Bit of a discussion around the weighbridge with my townie and Simon, the accountant. We're changing how we run the weighbridge. Currently, all lorries go onto the weighbridge and go back round and go on in the same way. Well, that will not work in our new setup as lorries leave the weighbridge facing one way and enter facing another. This creates a challenge for Simon to communicate with drivers. Now, at first we thought to have the weighbridge office in the middle, which would line up with the cabs on the 8x4 tippers, but isn't ideal as the near side windows on lorries with London glass doors do not wind down, but we could get by. However, the office in the middle does not work for articulated lorries. So we then thought to move the office down to the left, which means that Simon could communicate with drivers when they enter the weighbridge if they can wind down their near side window. But then, when leaving loaded, the office is in the wrong location. So we shifted the office all the way down to the right so we can communicate with the lorry when it's leaving and hand over the weighbridge tickets and any other paperwork. This will be a bit of a challenge the very first time a lorry comes in, but once we store their tare weight, which means they're empty, in the system, the process should be a lot more streamlined. And to ensure that Simon can let drivers know when he's taken their weight and where they should go to get loaded or tipped, we're fitting a tannoy system. Remember, this is all temporary as the permanent plans in the new yard have 2 weighbridges staggered and the office sat in the middle. Busy day for Ben after delivering a machine earlier this morning. Now he's heading to go and collect an Arctic. This is one that we're renting just for a week, so when the cranes move items, they can put it straight onto the flatbed, run it round to the new yard, and then they can take it off. I need to work out how everyone's going to work. Thursday will be completely fine, but when we get past Thursday, I don't want people working in offices when cranes are picking up containers on offices going over the top of them. I'm not doing it. Members of the team, like accounts, they can work from home, but the media team, all of the information is backed up onto the QNAP. So we need to find a way to extract that information, and some members of the team who will not be filming the big move, they will work from home. But then they need to be able to sign in to a lot of our platforms, upload information and have access to our backlog of footage, which we call upon through the drives to use within the episodes. It is definitely going to be a bit of a challenge, but there is no perfect time to do this, and we are already on borrowed time. I was asked by a member of the team if we could put the lift off for a couple of days, but we cannot do that. So it's all hands on deck. It is not going to be perfect. There's going to be screaming, there's going to be shouting, but we just have to adapt and evolve to overcome a very difficult situation. Hopefully in years, we look back and, well, I wouldn't say we'll laugh at this. Hopefully we look back and think, oh yeah, I remember when we did that. And that's it for Wednesday. Thursday and I'm in the yard. In case you're wondering why I'm wearing this and not my famous black hard hat, it's because it's in the back of the car that I was on the tour in and it only just got shipped back, so I don't have it yet. So I should be going to collect it tonight. But today is the day. We are ready. To be honest, we're not ready, but we're just going to make it work anyway. I want to do as limited crane movements as possible. We've got to go over to that yard over there. Someone's dismantling a weighbridge. There's another 4 containers. Then we got to go over here and get this silo. Then we got to go over there and do all those offices. So we got 1 crane in each yard, and we got a 75 tonner in that yard to offload. Yeah. And then we've got 150 tonner in here to load. And we've got an Arctic with a flatbed running between the 2. We're going to lift today while preparing for tomorrow. On some of the scaffold levels, like going up to my office, there's been checker plates screwed to the scaffold board. We need to begin to take those up so we could dismantle that scaffold. The workshop area continues to get dismantled, but we're going to stop it because the offices and storage containers over here, these are moving tomorrow. So the immediate need is to get back over there and finish the weighbridge and the archive scaffolding, because those are going to get lifted. You miss me, ain't you, Tal? Are you happy I'm back? He's happy I'm back, aren't you, Tal?
I am Daniel, yeah, that's it.
I missed you too, Tal.
Did you
I
really?
missed you too, yeah. It's been emotional without you.
Cora was talking about the green car.
Oh, what's Cora saying about the green car?
Oh, we saw the racing cars. Daniel had a green one.
Ah, Flo! How nice of you to join us. Said the geezer who's been away.
Yeah, said the seller who's been away for 10 days, yeah.
So you're telling me when we got to move yard, there's 200 metres on and there's a shortage of sand in the area.
Yeah.
We can't have trains because we're meant to be out of this yard, and we're taking down the silo and the water tower at the same time. Yeah. All right, that sounds like a great plan. Good morning, Sarush. Good morning, Luke.
It was 290 metres.
We did 200, was that a record?
Or 289 or something like that.
Oh, including this yard?
Yes.
Yeah, that doesn't count then.
Yeah,
we poured in our yard, it don't count. Oh, that's a nice crane, isn't it?
Straight down.
Spanker's crane. 1.8 million pound. Nice, we like that. 150 tons, 75 tons. The offices are going to be here. We're going to take the two 20-foot containers. We're not ready for them, so we'll probably just drop them here. We'll probably just drop the fuel tank here because we still need to, we'll concrete, and then we'll just have to move it after. The wheel wash, we'll just have to dump it because we don't have a place for it. I just need it out of that yard. The bagging plant is going to go here. Right. The silo is going to go here. We're going to focus in this area today, and then tomorrow it's going to be all the offices over there. You're really getting my steps in today, walking between the yards. The first two storage containers are on the back of the flatbed, and we are moving them to the new yard. However, Baldwins have gone to get some mats because they feel the ground is a little bit unsteady there. The time is nearly 10 o'clock. We've lifted, but we haven't done any moves. Hopefully, it will speed up in a bit. We are up against the clock. We had a fuel delivery scheduled. We're going to lift the fuel tank, and after the fuel tank, we're going to lift the bund around it. We're going to drop it in the other yard and connect it to a 240 generator so the lorries can begin to refill. The delivery turned up early and we haven't moved it as of yet. So hopefully they can come back later. All the lorries filled up last night, but that's only going to see them to the end of the day. That's another challenge. And here is Dudek. Give us a smile. We tried to lift the AdBlue tank. It's bunded, but it's plastic, and you could see the metal attachments were pulling away. So we've dropped it back down on some timber. Now we're gonna put straps around it, and we're gonna lift it in a different way so the pressure isn't on those points. It's in the groove, it's in the groove. Get into the groove, for you got to prove your love to me. I'm worried. It's already 11:45 and we haven't moved too much. However, now that we're set up in both yards properly, it should move a lot quicker.
How do? You're all right, honestly, you're in the bed.
Little update on the electric situation I told you about last week. Somebody else has applied for a large amount of electricity in this area. So because we were first, we now have 30 days to accept the quotation and pay the £47,000, or the quote will expire and the next person in line will get it. If we come back for a quote later, we either won't get the power because they don't have it, or we have to pay hundreds of thousands of pounds to upgrade the substation infrastructure if SSE even decide that that is an option. Fortunately, if we can find the 47, it's not the day after when the electric's going to be installed. It's going to take a little while because they need to approve the plans as we try to convert the kVA to kilowatts, which could take 3-4 months. Hopefully it takes 6 because it gives us more time to generate that income. But it's like the costs are coming thick and fast, and to be honest, with all the money we're spending, we don't have anything to show for it at the moment. But this is just the position we're in currently. Hopefully I'll look back on this in 5 years and think, wow, this is a great yard, as I'm on top of the Olympic container on the roof terrace having a meeting, looking out in a fully concreted yard as a train comes in with possibly a bottom discharge unit. Click here to watch that video. Also sorted the problem with office space tomorrow. Our friends down the bottom, Celtic, they have agreed to let Tony, Liam and Terry have some desk space. So we've spoken to our IT provider so that everybody can log in to the systems when they're not on our network, which as of 5 p.m. this evening will be no more. Storage containers are in. We're ready for the water tanks, bagging plant, silo. Generator's gonna go over here. The gap you can see, this is for the large electrical infrastructure box, which is going to convert the kVA to kilowatts. The crane is just de-rigging at the moment. He's going to move because he's going to put the weighbridge somewhere here. Now the weighbridge is actually meant to be going here, but the slab isn't done as of yet. So we're going to put it as close as we can and then probably have to get another crane in afterwards. The time now is 1:56. We have plenty to do and we are 25% of the way through the time allocated for the cranes. Bottom right corner on the concrete, build this please, and then the water tower is going to go in front of it. So I need you to make this please. Once the water tower tomorrow morning is going to be at the front, we need to build this at the back, but we don't want to be without water. So we'll move the water tower tomorrow, but we'll leave this connected so lorries can fill with water. Once the water towers in the other yard have been filled, then we'll wait till this is empty, then take this and lift it over with the crane behind it. We have 180 meters of concrete on tomorrow, and I've spoken to the silo engineer, and instead of coming first thing in the morning, he's going to arrive here about 12 o'clock, which means that we'll be able to use the silo probably until about 2 o'clock. And once the silo's empty, I've made an agreement with another company that we can fill up cement in their yard, but so we can calibrate the silo once we've moved it, I've booked a delivery of cement for Saturday at 12 p.m. It needs to be recalibrated as all the levels are going to be out on it. While I've got a second, I have a delivery. So here's my old Defender, ready for sale. And I think this is a back wheel cover to the new, whoever the new owner of this is going to be. Nice. All right, let's put that on here. It's a sad state of affairs when your hands are the things that are dirty and everything. This car is officially ready for sale. New windscreen, check. Rims done, check. Service, check. Eddie, who's filming, did take a couple of pictures. He's got to redo the pictures because now we've got a back wheel cover. You know how tyre kickers are. They'll come up to the car and say,
"You got no back wheel cover, your car's worth 10 grand less."
So they won't be able to say that to me anymore now, will they? Weighbridge. Then did a fine job reversing around that corner. Time is 6:36 p.m. These containers dropped the ball a bit. Never planned on putting the archive and the other 2 storage ones, which have been here for however many years. We never made a home for them in the temporary plan for the yard. So we've now taken them and just dropped them on the other side of the fence just to get them out of the other yard. Now we're gonna drive around and go to the bagging plant. We've cut all the bolts, we've cut the areas which are connected to fence, but some of the fence panels are welded, so we've had to leave them on. And the bagging plant should be in 4 pieces. It should be the hopper, conveyor belt that takes the material to the second hopper, and then the weighing scales. Lads are using a spreader bar to lift the main hopper from the bagging plant because they fear that if they don't use this, then the chains are going to pull and the chains would have damaged it, and the top area of the hopper might have crushed it. So the spreader bar will evenly distribute the weight, and then we should be able to lift it without causing any damage. Time is 8:21. I've ordered food. You saw a long time ago we were at Brim Burger, Manny Elite Pave. That's his spot in Watford. He's agreed to bring down food for everyone. So we're patiently awaiting. Should be a little energy boost that we need. With the bagging plant, we need to take it off, but then we need to kind of put it back together in a certain order because the hopper with the weighing scales tucks under the conveyor, but then the conveyor then tucks under the hopper. But we had to pull them out in a reverse order, so we have to kind of take it all off and then try and make our way around with it, if that makes sense. Whoa, he's got bags and all, yeah? Hey, look at that. Come find your house. Come on, do that.
He's going to come down in
Thank you to Manny for feeding the guys. Time now is 9:18. We're still mid-move, plenty to go. Thank you, Manny, saved us. The time is 10:04 p.m. A stressful but successful day. Generator and fuel tank around here waiting to be offloaded in the morning. We're going to bring the 150 ton crane in the main yard round to in front of the offices, so that's ready first thing. While that's setting up, we'll be offloading this generator and putting it in its final place.
They've driven around there already.
They've driven around already?
Yeah, so they loaded this on trailer,
Yeah.
de-rigged, and they're taking it straight round there. So it's there for the morning.
Subsetter here, and the day I've had, they'd probably use the meme they've got of me when they're ridiculing me.
We got a new one.
You got a new, what's the new meme?
The one where you're like this in your high vis. I don't know what you're doing, but
So that's kind of like, I don't want to know.
Oh, that's what I don't want to know. All right, okay.
that's what it is.
Okay.
It's when you text me with your crazy ideas, I send it to him and he knows.
Okay, fine. But that's still mocking me. That's still. Why are you laughing?
Because what's the other one?
Wait, listen, Terry, listen. Don't study them, you know. Don't follow them. Don't follow them, Terry. Yeah.
That's normally the advice you give to everybody else about me.
Yeah.
I'll send it to Terry.
No, don't send it to him. Anyway, it's been a very long day. I'm allowing these jokes because it what did I say?
He loves it.
No, I don't love it actually. It stimulates team spirit and camaraderie.
We're still laughing at.
Well, we're still laughing at 10:06 at night. Anyway, that is it for a very, very long Thursday, which is almost a very, very long Friday. See you in the morning. All right. You're an idiot. It's Friday morning. I'm in the yard. Day 2 of the big move. Today the weather is not on our side. In the other yard to start with, we're going to offload the generator and the fuel tank. Now we're going to start with these offices. Hopefully the crane can reach the very back containers, which we estimate to be around 11 or 12 tons with everything in them. To make this make more sense, let's move this one and then move them two. When the blue stillage is dropped here, all the clips, bam, 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 bam.
I chuck it further over. We've got more clips over there.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
We'll put it over there so we can fill it. We're going to start with the accounts office and then we're going to do the training room and the merch container, because that means that this area will then be clear. We need to get the machine in to finish braking around this container, and hopefully the crane can come that little bit closer so it doesn't have to reach so far. And I guess now if I want to go into my office, I need to climb up a ladder. And my door isn't closed. Of course my door isn't closed. Why would my door be closed? Accounts office loaded on. I'm trying to make payments on my phone. The accounts office aren't in. One of our suppliers of sand and gravel is saying that we're over trading over our credit limit. So while the lads are trying to do this, I'm trying to do that and sending payment confirmation so the lorries can collect material. Having a bit of a problem with the fuel tank because I don't think the small generator that we put on it is powerful enough. So there was a massive backup of lorries waiting to reload earlier. We didn't know, it seemed like it worked fine yesterday. To try to fault find, Terry is going to change the filter on it. Perhaps the filter is blocked, but if it's the power situation, then we're gonna have to get another generator in. Crane is struggling to lift this. If you look on the front of it, we've got a green, amber, red. Greens means good, amber means we're in a bit of trouble, red means it's too heavy. It's too far away from the crane, so what we're doing is lifting slightly, and then we're going to drive forward, drop it down again, and then reverse again, so we're that bit closer to the crane, so hopefully we can take it off at that point. The trouble is, the lugs that went in and tied it down, oh, wait, hold on, are we up? Are we up? Oh, yeah!
Right, stop there. Right, now hold or jib back.
Wait, wait, hold on, can't Ben drive?
Right, if he can jib back, let him jib back. Yeah, are you able to jib back at all?
We're in the game.
I know what you're doing. Your man said you want about a mil from the edge, didn't you? Yeah. You can tie up against here as possible.
The cables have to be that side.
Yeah, we're going to spin it.
We may be under pressure moving, but the work must continue on the train tracks in the new yard. The main challenge with this pour was gaining access, as the yards were both completely blocked up for long parts of the day. But as they say, the show must go on. I'm going to pop round here later to have a closer look. Time is 1:57. We are behind schedule. Both of the main offices from here have now moved to the other yard. We have to bring the top one over, drop it on the floor, then bring the second one over, which was at the bottom in the previous yard, then put that at the bottom and then stack the other one on top of it. The 1.75 ton machine, to break away the concrete around the 40-foot container, it's not powerful enough. So we're gonna lift the one off the top, the 40 foot, bring it round here, and we're gonna attach to the one at the bottom, and we're gonna try to pick it up. What I don't want to do is dismantle the crane and have to move it, because then we lose loads of time. I've got my own, I'm getting hot out here. I don't know if it's the temperature or it's the anxiety or the stress, I don't know what it is, but I've had to change. It's a couple times I changed in the last 2 days. Feeling like Beyonce, changing 3 times a day. We have a plan. We're going to try and use a bit of Tekkers. After we've removed the top one, we're going to attach on one side to the bottom one, try to pull it this way. If we yank it this way a little bit, Yeah. Maybe when we yank it, we can try. I'm not interested in it. I don't care about anything else or what falls down.
I'm about to get it. Might. We'll have a look.
Okay. Attach to the backside, yank it this way a bit and see what happens. It's not guaranteed, but the crane can do 11.5 ton at this distance. So. I heard everything fall off all the shelves, but it doesn't matter. We've pulled it out the concrete. What a result. Come on, Ben, you're slowing us down. Another section filled in here. The boys just put a temporary cover on top of it because it was raining. And there's one more section over there that needs to be done. Final bits are going in. And now, the gentleman who's going to help us with moving the silo and the silo calibration, he's arrived, but the concrete lorries are flat out in the yard. We had 25 ton in it this morning, emptied. Then we had another delivery of 30 ton, and we've taken about 2 loads out of it, which is about 4 ton. It will, depending on the lorry, one of the lorries takes 4 ton, another one takes 3.7 ton. And we need it as empty as possible because on the side of the silo, the lifting points, they look very strong, but they're only on 5 mil steel. The silo itself weighs 6 ton, so we wouldn't want a lot of cement in it because we're not sure that those lifting eyes would be able to cope with that amount of weight. So we need some lorries to come in, take some cement, go back out, do some work, but we'll start on the water tower. Look at that. It's the end of the line, but really the beginning for us. That looks nice, doesn't it? That'll be going nowhere. Bolted down and in concrete, even if the worst were to happen. Nearly there with the tandem lift. Crane is on one end, forklift on the other. This unit weighs around 4 tons. The crane is taking all the weight and the telehandler is just helping maneuver it. These bars here and here connected, when we actually installed it, I never removed them. You're meant to remove them and put them aside and use them for transport. But I thought to myself, if I take them off, I'm gonna end up using them into something else or putting them in a scrap bin. So, time to back underneath. This is the lift I've been most worried about. We're down to 1.5 tons of cement in the silo, which should be okay. That's a combined weight of roughly 7.5 tons. We're not going out onto the public highway with this load, so we have not fully dismantled the screws, which are the pipes which discharge the cement. But this causes an issue with height, so we take our time and have teams stationed around the load providing information and guidance. We thought we were out of the woods when we were clear of the trees, but just as we backed into the new yard, there were low telephone lines. Once again, the team on the ground provided guidance and information. Ben slowly backed up under the instruction of a banksman, and my townie and myself climbed on the walkway of the silo to finesse our way under the cables. It was not ideal by any stretch of the imagination, but we carried out the activity as safely as we possibly could. Now, the silo is in the new yard and the telephone cables are as they were and undamaged. However, we're gonna have to revisit the height of these cables, as if a grab lorry were to pull up at the entrance of the yard with the crane in the air after tipping, this could be a problem. We have another problem, nobody spotted, but do you know what? I'm gonna take that one on the chin, and I'm gonna blame myself, because we put the weighbridge down so it wasn't in the way of where the area needed to be concrete to sit the weighbridge on it eventually. But where we put it means that when we drop the silo, we can't reverse up to the silo, and we cannot use the bagging plant. And we've asked the lads to move it. However, the smaller of the two cranes, the 75 tonner, he said that he can't move the weighbridge. He just about got it off last time because the weighbridge weighs about 12 tons. So when the 150 ton crane de-rigged in the other yard, they've come down here. So they're gonna take the silo off, spin it, drop the silo in place, and then they're gonna take the weighbridge and drop it on a space which we've made over here, and that'd be it. There's another two 40-foot containers what needed to be moved. The scaffolders said it was unsafe to work in the rain. I get it, safety first. So this was extremely expensive to get these cranes and everyone in for 2 days. I didn't get everything done that I wanted to, is the honest answer, but we did a fair chunk of it. Silo engineer is off, but he just had a great idea. I'm sure in the past weeks we had to put this handrail in and the step for the cement suppliers. He's going to make us a bespoke piece of pipe what connects to this fill pipe and then comes out at 45 degrees, so they'll no longer need to step up, they can just connect straight on here. We're going to put the handrail anyway, the previous one, we're going to refit it and then drill it into the concrete here, but if it's lower and they don't even need to get on the step, then works well. Working on the weekend like usual, way off in the deep end like usual. The time now is 7:52 and it's Friday night. We have moved as much as we physically can. I have a plan for tomorrow morning already. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not happy with how the last 2 days went. It's something, but it's not enough. And there's no point getting the cranes in again tomorrow because we've got a lot of concrete in work to do. Hopefully, I can get them in for just one more day in about 10 days to 2 weeks, but who knows? And I just need to get these containers connected for electric, and the staff on Monday are probably gonna have a long walk. I'll put some Jersey barriers in the front to keep them safe, but they may need to walk from the previous yard. I'll be back tomorrow and give it another go. Appreciation to all the Ashville staff who mucked in and helped, but we still have a long way to go. Saturday morning, not in the yard. Come to buy a couple of fittings. The water tank is now further away from the silo than it used to be, so we need to get a new hose and fittings in order to connect it. Now, I don't want to join pipes together because that could cause a weak spot where there'll be leaks. So we've come to try to get one in a single length, which I think needs to be around 30 meters. And besides the old one, everyone keeps driving over it. My fault again, it used to be attached to the fence, then it came off, it was sitting on the floor. And if you saw when we put the step in front of the silo, we actually put loads of material on top of it. We also need some fittings for the grab lorries. They all have quick release, so the lads can take off the buckets if need be when they're lifting bags and attach a hook. But all the fittings have been damaged, so the lads are actually lifting the bags with the bucket on. We're gonna get a set for each grab to put the quick fittings back on, and we're gonna get a spare set for all of them in case they get damaged.
They go in there, and that's your hose towel, go in your hose.
Okay.
A bit of grease will help us with that.
We got 5 grabs. We need one for each grab and a spare for each grab.
It was a 26, 28.
That's not quick release. Should be releasing quicker than that. Oh, there we go. There we go. That'll take the pressure off the pipe, won't it? Yeah, I know. I just want to see if it'll close. In the game. Look at that. Made for it. And that is why you need a commercial vehicle.
No. Okay. We turn that up for the minute.
Before I went out to get the bits, we had a meeting here, gave the lads a few bits to do, which they've done already. We put the jersey barriers in, one to protect the bagging plant and protect the silo and give the lorries reversing some guidance. We've put this concrete sleeper in, so when the back wheels of the lorry hit it, the lads know that they are underneath the chute. The cement delivery is here at 11 and the engineer is waiting for the calibration. We're going to get a load of recycled material, build up this area as a slope because this is too high for the lorries to reverse, especially when they're loaded. The lads over there are working on the electrics to get this silo connected now. Half the team are working on the electrics for this, half the team are working on the electrics for the office. Trouble is, this wall backs onto the road, so people walk along the road and they just throw rubbish over the top of it. So a couple of the lads have gone onto the bank and they're picking up the little bits of rubbish and removing it, and I want all the rubbish cleared from this area. If people walk into the yard and they see rubbish everywhere, they'll just think it's all right to throw rubbish on the floor as well. We've dropped a couple of skips so the rubbish here can be sorted now rather than trying to sort it later. So we'll have one for just general rubbish and we'll have one for all of the wood so we can take them to separate tipping facilities. David has arrived with a load of materials for the electrical work. The plan with the electrics is round the back of the offices, we're going to build a temporary structure and we're going to have trays which run along the back, and the power and the data will run along the back of the offices. Now, I need a new set of shoelaces because my shoelaces have gone wrong and they're up in my office up the top, so I'm going to be in a ladder now trying to get up to my office and trying to unlock it. That's not good. Oh, the thing's gone everywhere. Oh, my glass bowls. How am I supposed to find my laces in all this? I need my laces, man. My boots are gonna fall off. Ah, my porridge has gone everywhere. This is long. This is the end that connects to the lorries, but this is damaged, so we want to replace it, but we can't get it out. It's C-solid, so we're going to use a grinder and cut here, and then the new ones that I just bought, we're going to reattach and put a clamp on it to hold it in place. We've been meaning to do this for a while, but you know, some stuff in the old yard, it's like, oh, we're going to move soon. I shouldn't have, but I was like, we're going to move soon. It's a write-off. We'll do it when we get there. So we're here now, so there are no excuses. We're doing a lot of double handling, moving things here, moving them there, but it's unavoidable at the moment. There's a couple of long lengths of track over there. The boys wanted to try to burn them, break them up, and then put them in a scrap bin. Absolutely not. We need those bits of track, so we're just going to take it and move it over to this finely concreted area around the sleeper. How good does that look? I mean, I know it's just concrete and some tracks, but look at it. How good does it look? Calibration is sorted. The way in which we do it, we zero out the silo. Even though we had 1.5 tons in there, we zero out. We're going to keep that 1.5 tons as reserve. It's a secret. Well, it's not really a secret now because I told everyone. But the lorry, when it pulled in, it had 26.8 on. So we know exactly how much is on the lorry. Once this is zeroed, we completely fill it, and then we change the reading on it to the amount which was on the lorry, and now it's spot on and accurate. And the bits which I bought, here they are, look at that. The hose now goes underneath and goes round, so we don't have that trip hazard here. Handrail is on. We are looking good. The water tank should be connected by the end of the day. We're just taking out the material here. The material was a bit mucky. We did that bit of a rush job so the cement tanker could get in, but we're just scraping out the softer gear underneath, and we're going to put some type 1 down. My town is actually in the other yard looking for a bit of steel that we can put on the edge of the concrete, because even with the ramp built up to it, the edge of it can be taken off by the weight of the lorries. If we got one, that'll be put on the front, and we'll have to drill through and bolt it onto it just to protect the edge. Silo working and calibrated, water almost working. We are getting there, slowly and painfully, but we are getting there. The lads are now fitting the uprights for the tray system, which is going to run behind all of the offices for the data, power and water. I think they're 120 or 1.2 meters, however you measure, centers between them, and the lads are just lining them up and driving them into the ground. Saturday, time is 2 p.m. The lads are heading off now. I don't know, I've never had it before, but I've gotten this thing with my eyes, like I can't keep my eyes open in the sun. Probably just a bit of fatigue. The move that we've done over the last few days, we're gonna release a video with a lot more detail on the move. We didn't want to have it boring in weekly. We want it to be jumpy and we wanted to give you the basics. But I feel there are a lot of challenges which the crane operators and the lads within the yard, which they had to overcome. And it wasn't as simple as just picking it up, moving it, dropping it. There was a lot more that went into it. It was an intense 2 days, and each day was about 14 to 15 hours. So that's going to be a separate video. Was probably going to be, I don't know, between 2 and 4 hours long for those of you who want to see the in-depth version of that intense 2-day move. It's Sunday. I'm on the road again. Was in the yard earlier. The lads are just moving bits around and they're starting to move jersey barriers from the old yard to the new yard in preparation for the safe pedestrian walkways which we're going to make, but we can't make at the moment because we need some recycled material to build up the levels outside the new office, and then we need to build a staircase to the transport and operations office with a landing that goes across to my office. So we are behind schedule. The rain is not helping us at all. I have no time in the week, so I have taken my old car and I am bringing it to my mate Vic at Essex Prestige because I have no time for people to come and kick my tyres and tell me that I should pay them to take my car or how little money my car is worth. So they're a car dealership, so I'll leave it in there and they'll advertise it and they'll give it another valet because I've managed to get it dirty again even after getting it cleaned. Oh man, so I'm trying to plan for the week ahead. Still no time for gym. Can't remember the last time I went. There was a snagging list on the generator which I've broken down into 2 parts. One part of the snagging list is for my townie. There's some cables which have dropped down and there are some clips, small bits and pieces. Doesn't affect it working, but it's good practice to have the work done. And for Bartush, the Stig himself, we need an emergency stop button on the outside. We need it connected for power so we can use the light in there when it's not on, and a few other bits. We're not going to use the generator at the moment. Hopefully I didn't call it the compressor earlier because I keep doing that. But I want it to be 100%. I don't want any problems with it, and if we need to turn it on or if there's an inspection, I want everything to be by the letter of the law and I want the paperwork to reflect that. I have to travel on Tuesday evening. Once again, it's not ideal. Been planned months in advance. It is work related. Trouble is, it's at an awful time, and when I did book it, I assumed that we would have moved and everything would have been in place at that point. So kind of dropped myself in it, but once I'm committed and the wheels are in motion, there's nothing I could do. So I've got to go hell to leather before them and ensure that when I leave, there is adequate work for everyone to do. And sometimes I feel like it's good that I do step back and let people get on with their workload because I can be a bit intense. My intensity is divided amongst people in different sectors, in the video team, then in operations, then in construction. Sometimes it's a bit much, especially when I'm on high alert like I am now. And I'm like, this. I don't want to be standing behind people, and some jobs don't take 10 seconds to do. Whatever I can do myself, I am just doing it because it gets it done. But everyone else, they have their day-to-day bits to do, but they also have the additional work associated with moving. Trying times at the moment. I've still got this problem with my eyes. I can't open them. I don't really want to be one of them guys who wears sunglasses all the time. But once again, as I said yesterday, maybe it's just fatigue. And that's it for Ashville Weekly episode 196. Click here for the Ashville website. Click here to subscribe to our channel. Click down here to see an Ashville video you may not have seen before. And click down here for last week's episode, which was number 195.